The following is for entertainment purposes only. We are not financial advisors. We are not responsible for any losses, only the profits. What if I tell you I think I've got the next cool thing that still not a lot of people are talking about? A whole new sector. A whole new sector. We've hinted on it a little bit, but I think this thing is about ready to explode. Of course, we have electric vehicles, which is still going to remain huge, but something that's kind of in the background, which is going to start competing, if you ask me, as far as running stocks. Would you rather invest in like a battery company or a mining company that makes batteries or parts for electronic vehicles? Or would you rather take that money and put it into something like this here on the screen? What this is called an Evtol, electronic little plane taxi things. Why are they cool? Because they're like helicopters, but lighter, quieter, more efficient. They cost less to run, and they're going to be everywhere. They're going to have their own little design, little taxi airports all over cities' rooftops. It's going to be pretty sweet. I know if I was ever going to live in a big city, this is probably the only way I'd be able to stand living there. Is if I could go from my rooftop to somebody else's rooftop to maybe the beach somewhere, top of a mountain, whatever. Anyways, I think these are going to be absolutely huge. They already are blowing up. They've already have their own little airports they're building. That's a whole nother section to get into at a later date. But today we're going to focus on maybe some SPACs that could possibly grab them and take them to the SPAC stock market. We've already gone over it with Mr. Ken Reese. This guy is the head dude for ZNTE, ZNTE, ticker on that one. I absolutely love everything to do with this ticker. The whole management team, everything is amazing. I actually looked him up the other day, and he has so much money that he donated $300 million cash, $300 million cash to Notre Dame. Why? Because that's where he went to college, he said. And he said those funds are completely unrestricted. What does that mean? He said, just do whatever you want, I trust you. Do you realize how insane that is? How successful is this guy? Does that tell you right there? It should. Why are we talking about him? Because he laid it out and laid some brands out for us that are kind of cool. Where? On his Instagram. He ain't cool on Twitter, but he is cool on Instagram. Here's one here. I will take any of these. I can't even tell what this one says, but it looks like it's Vol something. Starts with a V. He's just talking about EVTOLs, though. I don't see a brand mentioned in here, but I don't care. I think this one's rad. I'll take that one. How about this one right here? I don't know what brand that is, but I think it looks amazing, and I want it. I'll take a stock that gets that. This one, this is the Lilium. I do know what this one is. They've been coming out and saying that they're looking to go to the SPAC market, stock market through SPAC. They actually have their own airport, I believe, in construction mode in Florida somewhere. But these are more like plane style instead of helicopter versions. You can see it's their own specific little airport. If you ask me, I think airports are, no matter what, never going to be where they were a year ago. I could see airports, Southwest or whatever, plowing down a section of their airport and making it for the EVTOLs. People are going to choose them, and I'm sure they're going to, I don't even know if they're going to cost more or cost less, but regardless, even if they cost more, I bet people will pay it up. Why not? I'd rather fly this thing with just, people it's like it says like a sub for a private jet. You're going to take a private jet and spend $30,000 to go 200 miles. You're going to get one of these and maybe spend, I don't know, $5,000 to $12,000. I'd much rather take that. I'd rather go to Tahoe in one of these than in a private jet. Because you're going to be the new cool kid. We have those. Then we have this brand here. I'm supposed to know what this one is. I was going to remember, but I don't. But this is like another like jet plane hybrid. But you can see it. This thing here is like the jet propulsion, but you can see it's on a swivel and it actually turns up like that to go, so they can just lift vertical like that and just take off like helicopters. But it's also like a jet, so it actually just turns for you and then it can go forward or straight up. I just think it's really rad. I want to be a passenger in one of those. If I'm going to be on a plane, fly in that thing. Okay. How about the next one? Same picture. He's going over the brands. More Lilium there. I think that might be it. Oh, I'm going over that one again. But regardless, this guy's totally into that space, and I found some other SPACs that I think would totally work too. I want them all. I think Lilium might be like the golden unicorn of it, but I'll be happy with any of them. So if I can get a piece of all of them, I have a feeling in the next 5 to 20 years, these things are just going to go absolutely parabolic. Would you rather invest speculatively into Southwest Airlines or Carnival Cruises like people are doing? Or these? I think those people, when they see these coming out, they're going to be like, forget that. I'm moving my money over to here. And Lucid, of course. Let's get to some more tickers. First one, ZNTE. I was just talking about it. If you haven't seen my video on that, just go watch it. All the info is on my website, though. Down in the description, I got the link. You can read these scripts if you want. Next one's going to be XPOA, ticker for me. We intend to focus our search efforts in North America-based targets with the aggregate enterprise value of $1 billion to $2 billion. That kind of rules out Lilium. Lilium's more of like a UK Euro saturation. They've got stuff kind of all over, but they're more Euro. In their S1, I found where they put, including without limitation, mobility, logistics, space, healthcare, e-commerce, retail, media, education. And some of these businesses are now mature enough to benefit from the publicly traded market. But mobility, logistics, and space, I kind of think that gets us there. We've also found a little bit more connections, but I'm going to try to make this video as fast as possible and go through it. The ticker on this one actually, the name of this one is actually DPCM. So the ticker is XPOA, but the name is DPCM Capital. Where's this one showing at? $11.42. It's not a perfect entry. It's not $10, but it ain't October either. It's a whole different ballgame. They have a $300 million MERS. They got a lot of good people on their team too. First dude, Emil Eichel, former chief business officer for Uber. Remember that. All right. We got Google CEO in there. Keeps going and going and going. Next one we're going to talk about, we've talked about before, PIPP, ticker for me. This is the biggest Biden connection SPAC out there. No matter what, money, political, media, goes down the line from there, right? And then little people money at the very bottom. If you got like 5 senators that are ripping with Biden, you think that they're not going to be able to be at the closing table and say, we are going to be able to get you government contracts? Of course they are. Like 5 big old bigwig senators for Biden. Yeah. Pine Island Acquisition Corp. $266 is what this is sitting at. This thing has been to $14. No LOI or nothing on this. It's already been to 14, so it is what it is. I think it's another probably decent entry on here for the time being in SPACs. This one has John Thain, the former CEO of Merrill Lynch, director of Uber. You heard of Uber? Remember Uber? There's Goldman Sachs. They got a MERS of 220-ish thousand. This one does like defense, government service, aerospace. That's what might get us in here. But again, the whole government service thing. You know the government's going to have these. You know, what if Biden says no police force can, or hospitals in America can have gasoline-powered helicopters anymore? They have to use these. Or maybe our military can only use EV vehicles now. I don't know. It could happen. I'm going to get it from one of these companies. Next one, GNPK is my ticker. Aviation. GNPK. They're also an aviation unicorn focused, which is awesome. They have David in Single. Ms. Single has 30 years experience in the aerospace aviation industries and proposes deep relationship across the entire aerospace supply chain. Boom. Currently serves as executive chairman for Sun Country Airlines. All right, and we got a chairman of Volotea, a Spanish low-cost airlines. And then he also acted as a senior advisor for Apollo in the capacity, assisted Apollo in the acquisition portfolio of Sun County Airlines. You got a lot of amazing airline background on this one. This one's kind of like ZNTE, right? It's probably the closest one to that. This chick right here, she's with them. Her name is Nina. Again, she's all over it. She's more Euro-based, though. So we got a lot of Euro. You hear the Spain. This chick's into the Euro stuff. She's not a board member for airline and aviation in Europe, I believe. She's senior executive. But she's liking stuff on her social media, such as the German aircraft aircrafts out there to do 328, a new eco lease on life. So she's liking like eco stuff. Germany, Europe, could be Lilium. This one would absolutely match with Lilium. I'll take it. Like I said, I'll take any of them, but whatever. Genesis Park Acquisition Corp is the name of that, GNPK. That one's only sitting at 11.22, so it's making PIP look expensive, but again, I'm just like, I want in it. I want in all of them. Genesis Park Acquisition, Aviation Services. They only have 166 million MERS. If you know me and this isn't your first time watching my videos, you probably know I'll take that. I'd rather have 166 than probably like 600 on a lot of these, because that's just how stuff's structured. And you can always go back to daddy or mommy and ask for a couple hundred more million if you bring to them a good enough deal via pipe. Whatever. 166, totally fine. Next one I did a video on so long ago, maybe 5 months ago. Has anyone seen this? DFNS. Y'all remember? Aerospace, Defense, Telecommunications. Boom. This has a bunch of Lockheed Martin fam in there. Lockheed Martin is a lot of government cool toy stuff that they fly and drive around and all that. This could totally work. If you haven't seen my video, go watch it. This one's only sitting at 11.22 a share. It's all-time high-ish for this, but the crew on here is totally legit no matter what. There's some other speculating things that they could go with also, but maybe something flying, maybe even drones. If drones are doing cool, these things should rip. You know, to me, drones aren't that cool. It's just a video camera that flies. These things, these EV taxi things, though, are amazing. And I can see even a lot of the people investing in drones to head on over to this sector, too. Regardless, they have 173 million in the MERS. Fantastic. Aerospace, defense, communications. Talk about Uber now for a second. So, by the way, ZNTE has Uber connections, too. I believe the head chairman of Uber is sitting on the board for ZNTE. All right. So, why do we care about Uber? So, Uber connections matter because of a company called Joby. So, Uber Technologies is making $75 million investment in Joby Aviation. That includes the acquisition of Uber's electric vehicle takeoff and landing EVTOL company, Uber Elevate. Later on in the news, you see this down here, then Uber sells its flying taxi business to Joby Aviation. Earlier this year, Uber invested in them. So what do you get? The chairman of Uber, there is absolutely no way he did not have any involvement in a $50 million investment in something, if you ask me. So what that means is he's probably talked and knows the head dudes for Joby. So Joby's another brand of these things other than Lilium. Could be Joby. So any of these people that have the Uber ties in there, they can grab Joby. I'll take Joby. I don't even care which one it is and how far along they are. As long as it looks cool, that's all that matters, at least to me. Right? I mean, we're here to make money, but I don't think it can get much cooler for the time being and the hype train and all that. I could see after after Lucid, unless we get Rivian, I just don't see any other EV making a big splash. I just don't. What's left? And I really see people pulling out of those battery plays or the random software plays for them. Like, that's not cool. I'd rather be in something cool that I can touch and fly in, right? What do you think? Are you already in any of these? Is there a couple that I totally missed? Let me know down in the comments. This took me a while to make this list. We've been buying these for a little bit in the group, in the Discord and all that, but really lately the more I've been thinking about this stuff, I'm like, I got to get more in. I want more exposure. So we've been really diving in. Let me know if you haven't, or any other that you want me to take a look at, because I'm willing to do a whole nother video on one. I just wanted to hurry up and get this out. That way you've got these tickers for you, and at least some for you to go take and do some research on. If you wouldn't mind liking this video and commenting down below, subscribing. I hate asking for it, but it does help with the algorithm. I'm sure you know that. Also join the Patreon if you want. If you want a little bit better entries, do it. People are multiplying like crazy. We'll see y'all out there tomorrow. Did you know that we give away free silver? Simply leave a comment on the video, and as long as you're in the continental United States, you can be automatically entered to win. Please friend us on Twitter and StockTwits.